Hey guys, Captain Matt here with the Lighting Trade School podcast. Welcome aboard. Today it's just me and Glow Daddy Shane from Duff Nation, from the Glow Geeks. Uh, Shane is not the only one that can come up with these cool little nicknames to utilize them. Shane, how are you doing today, buddy?
That wasn't a cool nickname, but I'll take it. I'm good. Man, springtime, right? Leaves are falling, weather's super awesome. Phone calls are, coming in, leads are coming in. We're getting busy. I like it. It's a good time of the year.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I went out yesterday. We went first time. I was going to go make some training videos about how to do some troubleshooting on fix requests and everything. And it's only about a half an inch of the soil's actually thawed. So couldn't even dig into the mulch. It was pretty funny. I'm slamming a shovel into mulch and it doesn't even move. So, but the spring is right around the corner for us in the East Coast here. Well, up, I guess, Northeast. We're looking forward to it because people are thinking about it. It's weird that it's 60 degrees out and the ground's still frozen though. So, but yeah.
Yeah, we don't really have seasons here, so it's like really spring. It's more like pre-summer, and then it goes to like fall. There's no changing. It's always that time of the year for us. It's like enjoy the weather while it lasts. It's going to be 100 degrees for who knows how long. And it's going to be absolute miserable. But right now, it's good.
There you go. That's awesome. Yeah, for us, it's like we're just getting into maintenance season. We do a lot of maintenance coming out of the winter time. We get the snow, the ice, the snow plows. Got guys who, there's plow drivers just take stuff down, or snow blower. So for us, it's always an exciting time, but it's also a really crazy time because, you have to push off so much of that maintenance during winter time because it's just frozen. You can't get into the ground. So it's an exciting time for the Northeast here as we can see some sunshine coming out.
Nice.
Yeah, man. Now I guess before I go into that, do you guys do like maintenance year round with your weather? Like you can just do it in January, February, and you can go fix a light.
I know that sounds like foreign to someone in upstate New York, but yeah, absolutely, dude. There's almost never a day that we just close because it's too cold.
Wow. Mind blown, life-changing moments there.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be like less than 10 days a year where we even dip below freezing. I mean, it is
Wow.
rare.
Wow. Sign me up for that. All right. Today's episode, again, sponsored by Lifetime Lighting Systems. Lifetime Lighting Systems is created by Nate Mullen. Nate Mullen was the original inventor of unique lighting systems. If you've ever been into any supply house or walked any properties, you have seen them. Through that, Nate was able to design jobs for hotels, resorts, and all that. And then ended up coming up with Lifetime Lighting Systems a few years back, maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago. And he's just brought on all his new things that he's invented in his mind that he wasn't able to do. He's been, at home, scratching this. Nate loves inventing. So Lifetime Lighting Systems, check them out, lifetimelightingsystems.com, sponsor of this podcast. All right. With that being said, we're going to talk about how to turn lights on and off for landscape, right? That's kind of basic. We get so many questions, so many calls about what we use. And when I say turn the lights on and off, we've got dongles, we've got smart sockets, we've got smart transformers, we got probably a bunch of other options. So I guess with that, Shane, when we talk about turning lights on and off, we're just talking about controlling the lights, right? So, what's your go-to if your client doesn't ask or anything, and you got a 20 light job, you're doing it. What are you putting on? Is it Dusk-to-dawn? What are you doing?
So I would say, every customer is different, but I like Dusk-till-dawn. Me personally, because I like looking out my windows. I like walking around my property early in the morning or late at night. Like I like seeing the lights on because it's just beautiful. And, we've got a super cool yard that we like lit up. So I kind of transfer that to the client, because if I like it, I'm sure they'll like it. Sure. On a rarity, there's some clients that want like their backyard to turn off, at midnight or something. I'd say that's more the rarity. So Dusk-till-dawn would be the most popular.
All right, awesome. And I would say the same for me, but I actually Well, no, because we do mainly people off at midnight and then back on at like 4:30 or 5. But yeah, you're right, because that's what I do at my house. So just like you leave yours on dusk to dawn, so your clients get dusk to dawn. That's how I set it up. When when we're there, was how we set it up. So I bet you if I just put it on dusk to dawn, no one would even say anything. I don't even know why I do that. Actually do know why I do. I did it from Christmas lights, right? I just been since 2009, I've been doing Christmas lights where it's always 4 to midnight, and then I'd come on in the morning for when the kids were going to school. So I think maybe that's just so ingrained in my brain that I brought it to landscape lighting with me.
But that's smart. I mean, I don't look out my window in between midnight and 4 a.m. So why do I have them on? I don't know. It's easy. Just in case, like I'm using the bathroom or I want to look out my window and see if anything's out there. I got my lights on. Look at the kingdom.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. The one time my house alarm was going off, right? And I was scared. I didn't know what happened at the time. But it was so dark outside. It was like maybe 3 in the morning, and the cops are here. And then, I'm finally waking up and getting my senses. And then boom, I turn on all the lights outside, just like, oh, like that dark at night, from darkness to light. I immediately knew no one was on my property. But yeah, if I had just kept my landscape lighting on, because I turned on my gemstone lights up full blast, 100% bright white, just blind everybody possible. But I left my landscape lights on. As soon as that alarm went off and I was able to look out, it said, window. It was actually a window battery. But anyway, I didn't know at the time. Like if I had left it on dusk to dawn, it wouldn't have been as scary. So I get why you'd have it on dusk to dawn too.
Simple.
Simple. How do you do dusk to dawn when you do? Wait, what do you use? Is it
So my go-to, right, probably 80% of the time, I just like using the dongle. I guess Nate calls it a dongle. I don't even know why he calls it a dongle, but it's just a photocell timer. Maybe other people
yeah.
call it a dongle. Do you call it a dongle?
I do, but I don't know if that's because of Nate or if that was what we called it. I
Is
think we
that
used to call it a timer.
Yeah, I don't know. So photocell timer that you plug in. We use them, for all of our Christmas jobs. Just a real simple. You got off on in 2 hours. So when it gets dusk, it stays on for 2 hours and then turns off 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, dusk till dawn. Simple. It's easy to tell a customer how to change. They're only $20. Every Home Depot in the world has them, so they're super easy to replace. I mean, you do have like the hardwired in photocell for a transformer,
Yeah,
which I mean, yes, I mean that's super easy once you do it a couple of times, but it's less easy to like train a new person. And certainly when it's not working, there's no way you could just walk a customer through it. You got to go back out there. Now, those don't
sure.
constantly break down, so it's like that's a rarity. But if I had a customer that ever wanted to adjust their lights, well, it's really easy to tell them, hey, if you don't want them on dusk till dawn, just go click it to 8 hours. I even have a little 20-second video that I can send them and show them exactly how to use it. It's
Yeah.
easy and simple for me. So that's what I like to use personally.
Yeah, no, I get that. I mean, that way, like you said, there's nothing worse than if you have like a built-in photo cell. I've replaced a few of them on other people's, right? It's usually, the client's having a party like that night. Usually it's when they're going to figure it out or find out, like, oh my God, like I forgot this doesn't work. And you got to run out there, or the client doesn't have the lights. Like if that built-in photo cell is not working, they're not getting any lights. They ain't coming out. So I love that. The dongle's broke. They can just unplug it and plug it straight in. So at least they can have lights when they want them. So I love that. I'm gonna
You don't have the photo cell in stock and they need it on, and you don't even have one of those. But every store's got a dongle, and you can easily tell the client what to do.
yeah. I use a few dongles. I don't use them religiously. I think I'm vice versa. I'm probably like 90% or more. I use a smart plug, just little white circles, plug them in. I connect them to an app called Smart Life. It's a big app. It's not my app. It's just like a free app that, is like, I think it might be the largest, smart home automation free app. Set them up. And what I love about that is the same thing is if it does go wrong or it disconnects from Wi-Fi, they can still go over, click the little button, boom, the lights come on. If for some reason that Wi-Fi plug fails, they can just unplug it, plug straight into the wall for that same thing, or having a party or whatever. hey, you want lights? Just unplug the thing, plug it in. That way I don't have to make this emergency call, because no one wants to leave a client, in the dark when they're having a party, because then it really defeats, so much of your added benefit to them, right? Because then they're going to remember, oh yeah, this is the guy who did lighting, even though can't use it when I have friends over.
I use those smart plugs, and you've sent them to me. What I
Yeah.
like about them is they're cheaper. You can get them in 24 hours on Amazon. I mean, there's some benefits to them. I think you buy like a 4-pack for $20 or $25 or something, like they're
Yeah.
really cheap. What I don't like about them is taking the extra time to program them and having the customer download the app and walking them through it. Just takes extra time. Like if we're on site and we finish and the customer's not there or something, it, to me, that's like a little bit extra. And
Mhm.
had it happen twice at least. It was like super big home and the outlets didn't connect to the Wi-Fi. And it
Yeah.
just kind of created like this thing where there wasn't connectivity and they weren't able to control those lights. And it just kind of turned into us going back out there several times, trying more expensive smart outlets. Maybe it's Texas, maybe our internet sucks more, or maybe just bigger, or maybe we use thicker walls, which wouldn't make any sense. But maybe there's just something different about our geography where those just didn't work for me.
Sure. And I hear that there's been some times, if I'm doing these far off gardens and stuff like that, where Wi-Fi doesn't exist there. Um, I'll use a dongle there for sure, or I'll put one of those smart timers in and hotspot into my phone and connect it, because those little um, Wi-Fi timers retain the time and retain the timers even if they lose Wi-Fi. So as long as I know I set it, um, I'm going to be fine, as long as it doesn't lose power. Once it loses power, it's got to connect at Wi-Fi at some point to reconnect. And for me, okay, if you lose power, I'm hoping within that time frame for when the lights are supposed to turn on next, that it kicks on. But it's not as reliable as a Dusk-to-dawn, because as soon as it has power, that Dusk-to-dawn timer dongle is 100% going to know if it's dark or light. So I love them. I also love them because, like you said, they're so cheap. I'll just ship them from Amazon directly to the client's house if they're having problems, as the first line of try these. Now, I don't usually have an issue, but I have gone back to put a dongle on. That's for sure.
Yeah, so both of those are easy, simple solutions. Now, me, I've never gotten into any like real super techy kind of zoning things out, having everything on different times, having everything extra smart, unless it's like a customer's home and we're plugging into their, like Control 4 or Lutron type system. Well, then they
Sure.
just do it, and that happens often, right? At least when you're doing super rich people and they got that whole home smart automation. But if they don't have that, is there anything that you've tried that's kind of like next level, or you don't even bother with that because it just kind of, the more confusing stuff gets, the more confusing it is for you, the customer or the tech?
So when I do zoning or anything like that, well, one, obviously we can just do a light switch, so they can turn them on or off. But I've done, what I'll do is multiple power kits, right? So like, I know I have this one client who wanted different zones, and I want to say we have maybe 6 or 8 different zones. Now we have those through 4 different power kits. Plus we tried these little Wi-Fi splitter timers, which work. But that's a lot of extra work to do all that zoning, made it smart. And the guy, he leaves them on. The only ones he turns off are the ones right next to the hot tub when he's sitting in the hot tub. It's like all that extra work, all that other badass figuring out. The guy just always have his lights on anyway. And that's what most clients do. If you design it where you're not, you don't have the glare, you don't have the hot spots, you don't have it overly bright, their lights are just going to always be on anyway. And that's what I tell people at this point. But what about you? Do you do any zoning at all? I mean,
I don't, right? Just because it does get confusing, not only for us or my install team, and I always love learning new things and mastering new things. But when something goes wrong and it's extra, uh, involves the internet or techie or extra, fail points, just always seems like there's that one time where they're having an event and it's not working and you can't fix it on site. So that's where simple comes in. I'll tell the customers, man, I like simple. I want it to come on and off like magic for you. You don't have to think about it. and it just comes on and off. Now, there are some rich customers that just have everything on their phone and they like the control over it. Maybe it's
Yeah.
just a cool factor, because just the fact that they can control it on their phone, even though, like you said, they absolutely never do. Because you just want the lights to come on and off every single night,
Right.
without fail. So there are some customers that want fancy, but for the most part, we don't even ask. We just, this
Yeah.
is what we do. If they want something different, then we'll address that then.
Yeah. So, okay, you're talking about Lutron, Crestron, all these other things, right? Now, I know when I do them, all I do is plug into the outlet and I say, this is my outlet, and they call their guy, right? There's always a guy that handles those because they're so advanced, or they got to do, I don't even know what they do, right? Um, I saw some guys in one of our groups asking about how you handle it and all that. And for me, I just like, well, you call your Crestron or your Lutron app and or guy, they'll they'll come do whatever they have to do. That's way beyond my purview. I'm a lighting guy. Now, wrong or right, could I make more money if I learn how to do that? Probably. But what do you do? Do you actually set that for them, or do you make them call their guy?
So we have this issue like right now. It's so funny that you mentioned that. So really, really cool neighborhood, baller neighborhood in our area. It's like a hill country type mansion neighborhood. And this particular customer is like one of the wealthiest in that area. Super cool horse barn. And I mean, it's a cool job. And we got her, funny enough, like cold calling her. We did Christmas lights for a few years ago. We just called her out of the blue, told her we're running a special on landscape lights.
Hmm.
So that's probably a whole nother story on how we got it. But we reached out to this particular client, and she built like a guest house, a casita, what we call it here.
Okay.
And she wanted lights on this casita. Now she has landscape lights everywhere. We ended up selling her on rearranging and adjusting all of her lights so they look better. But we did this casita, and everything she likes controlling from her, Lutron system on her phone. I think it's
Yeah.
called Advantage or something. It was something different. So when the guys went there, I didn't communicate with them properly. We should have probably asked what plug to use. So we just used the plug that made most sense for our landscape light install. So we installed, I don't know, 30 lights or something. I mean, this will be hopefully like a few hundred lights one day. But we only did the casita. That was our shoe in the door. And we ran lights, everything to this one outlet. Well, then she says, hey, like that outlet isn't connected, to my Lutron system. I'm saying Lutron. I don't even know what it is. But I was like, oh, well, shit. Like, well, why didn't you tell us what outlet to use? Well, there was no exterior outlet that was wired to it, but there was two J boxes, that could be made into an outlet, that have the wiring in it. I was like, well, that's dumb. Like, why didn't they just make it an outlet when they installed it? So she had to have her electrician put an outlet in. He was already there doing work, so that wasn't a big deal. So it's like, okay, let me tell him where to put the outlet. And it ended up taking like 2-3 weeks for this whole process. And I'm trying to organize with the electrician and where to put the outlet. And I'm telling my team to communicate with them, and they're not doing it good. And we had to, get the Advantage guy, to come for the Lutron system and tweak it or tone it, I think is the words they used, make sure everything's good and everything's toned and it's working. So they want to be there when we're there just to make sure that everything's 100% for the client. I don't want the client to deal with this, right? They're a multimillionaire.
Yeah.
We want to make it easy for them. But for us, like we didn't even charge for this. And like this ended up like an entire extra visit. She hasn't paid us the second half because she's waiting for this to get done. So
Oh, yeah.
she's got $5,000 or something that she's like holding hostage till we get it. And finally, like the outlet should have gotten installed yesterday, and we're going Friday to meet the Lutron guy and get everything squared away. But
Nice.
end of the day, like, it ended up being a pain in the dick was trying to make everything easier on her.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned about electricians and outlets. Is I send in an electrician on a lot of jobs for landscape lighting, right? Because I don't know how it is in Texas, but here in the Northeast, you get one outlet in the front yard and you get one outlet in the backyard, and that's it. On the standard home, even $3 million homes, they have one outlet in the front, one outlet in the back, and that is it. And I always hate stealing that, right? Because you got to charge a phone, you're putting a speaker out there, something, right? Like you're going to plug something in. I'm going to take over that. And then you're just going to, curse my name because, I took your outlet. So I used to include it as like, a sales line, right? Like, oh, this will I'll send in my electrician, he'll do it. It's a $400 value, and we're gonna throw it in. But then I got that same thing what you did, right? Like if my electrician guy, because he wasn't on staff, he's just someone I worked with, licensed electrician. Well, when he's backed up, then I wasn't getting those final final deposit, final payments, because people are like, well, the job's not done. Job's not done. So last probably year or so, I've moved into working with a different electrician. And I say at the front, you will, this doesn't include any of those new outlets you might need. And I just make that introduction. I send a three-way text between me, the electrician, and the client, and say, I run a lead cord to an outlet that works for now. Boom, you two, I'm introducing you. He's great. He'll come make it happen for you. And then so that way I'm not waiting around for that final payment anymore. So that's been game changing for me, not waiting around for an electrician who doesn't work for me to put an outlet so that I can give him that final check.
What if you mount your transformer and you're running an extension cord where you want the outlet to go? What do you do if the electrician says, I can't put an outlet right here, and it's like 10 feet away? I mean, do you got to go and run and splice in new wire and extend it and get up your transformer or unmount it?
I guess I've never had that happen. I've probably had them go. I mean, we're talking hundreds of outlets installed for sure. I've never once had them say, I can't install an outlet there. Now, I did ask him originally, right? Like, where is the best spot? Where's the spot that's going to be the cheapest for the client? So most times the cheapest spot is to try to keep it near where the electricity comes in, because normally that's close to, their main box. Not always. So I try most of mine. I'm like, we just find where that is, because that's already where the utility section is of the house, right? That's there are AC units out there. There are, generators out there. So it all is already utility based. So I try to just sneak in right there. And yeah, I've never had a problem. So hopefully you mentioning it doesn't create that for me, asshole.
And you just go with the extension cord. You don't go back to pick it up.
I don't know, man. I'm spending a lot on extension cords. I was thinking about the other day when the guys called me and said they're out of extension cords. I'm like, what? Damn. But yeah, at this point, I don't know if the electrician just takes it as a bonus and he's like sitting selling them on eBay or something.
Got 100 extension cords lined up in his shop.
But for me, I have to remind myself that $20 on a lead cord, I'm able to get that money faster, which, as you know, and anyone in business knows, right? Like having money just sitting out there for no reason, you're waiting on somebody else, sucks, right? Like it's in my payable, my receivables. I'm comparing receivables, payables, and I'm like, well, shit, this guy owes me $8,000, and I'm waiting for this electrician to go put a thing on. Like it sucks. So it's just what I've done, and it's been working. I'm going to share my screen real quick because I'm just thinking. I just pulled up. People might not know when we say dongle or whatever. So let's see if I can go ahead and do that. Whoops.
I think having a dedicated outlet is genius, by the way. But we always have outlets on the side of the home. This is very rare that we don't.
Okay. Whoa, infinite screen. All right. Can you still see my screen?
Yep. Perfect. Okay.
All right. So these are the ones that I order, right? They're just a white Wi-Fi plug. These ones are currently unavailable. Whatever. They're straight from, China, I'm sure. But there's ones just like it. 10 amps. Plug it in, super easy to use. And then here's a dongle. Now they have these at Home Depot too, but look at this. This is $10, right? Like, I get 4 for like 25 on the Wi-Fi dongles. They're great. $10, super easy. And when you just see the off, on, 2, 4, 6, 8, Dusk-to-dawn, anybody can understand that, right? There's really not too much training videos needed on something like that.
We buy really good ones, me personally, from Christmas designers, because that's where we kind of bought our Christmas lights from. I really like theirs. Quality. They tend to last longer. I think they're normally 25, but we get them for like $12. Nice. And we just order 50 of those at a time, so we always have them.
Awesome. Yeah, it's fine. I was trying to think why I don't use dongles, and it's because of Christmas, because I had this one client's house where when the lights came on for Christmas, it was too bright, so they would go off. Yeah. It was just this endless cycle of on and off, on and off. And I've gotten that a few different clients now, where that was just so frustrating for me, and frustrating for the guys, frustrating for everyone involved. So I just switched everyone to a smart plug. and I did, hey, if you don't have a smart plug, you don't get any visit, timer help unless you pay $149 or whatever. So I guess I
Makes
just
sense.
held that against the dongle. Maybe I'm being hard headed.
We have a timer, crate that we just keep in our trailer. It's got some manual ones, it's got our normal photocell ones, and then it's also got the smart plug ones. So we can make a pivot on site
Smart.
super simple when we need to. Yeah, that is the downfall with dongles, right? Like if the neighbor has a floodlight, or if the client has a floodlight, or it's near a street light, or it's just something silly, and it throws everything off.
Yeah. Have you ever tried any of the power kits that have zoning like built into them? Well, you must not, because you said you didn't do any zoning. So that was a stupid question. But why haven't you? Because obviously they're out there, right? I mean, they have timers or transformers, power drivers, whatever you call them, that are pre-zoned, but you've never tried that. Why?
I haven't. That's a good question. I think just naturally, just as humans, right? We stick to what we're used to and we know what works. My
Yeah.
guys are trained, on a certain power supply in a certain way, and we like it. I like dealing with the same manufacturer. I like dealing with NAICS. I know if something goes wrong, well, I'm going to get my money back, because I send all my business to them.
Sure.
I know just in general, right, with anything in life, the fancier you get, or the more connections and more point of failures, it can just be confusing. Like we've done some maintenance on like some FX Luminaire type systems.
Okay.
I mean, those are like, digital screen, like they're super fancy, but they're confusing as hell to go back and problem shoot. Like if that thing's not working, it's frustrating. If
Yeah.
if you haven't done that 50 times, it's confusing. And you got to
Yeah.
train all your guys on a new system. So I mean, simple is simple for me, and it
Yeah.
works.
Don't have to become an IT department. I just see so many new guys get so much stuck in that mix, right? They almost delay themselves from starting because like, well, I need to know how to zone. I need to this. And I mean, I have, besides that one client, everyone else is just understood. I'll put a light switch on there for you that you're never going to use. That's literally what I tell them. I'll put it on there, but I don't think you're ever going to use it. And I just actually yesterday we visited a lady we installed her end of December. And I said, you know, hey, have you tried out your light switch yet for her porch light landscape lights? She says, no, I just love how it looks. I don't want to turn any of them off. I'm like, oh, geez, what I mean? But I would just encourage guys, like, you don't have to figure that out. Just start, right? Like, you don't have to make it so freaking complicated. I know that's how we train at the lighting trade school too, right? There's so much of it's easy. Some guys push back. Well, there's this and there's that. And yeah, well, I think I said a great line for a guy was like, well, we're artists, so we're going to use different Kelvin temperatures here. We're going to use different zones, whatever. Well, fuck being a starving artist, man. Like that shit's for the birds. I don't want to be a starving artist. I need to make, I'm in business. Yes, I'm a lighting artist for sure. By the end of the day, I started this to make money. It provides for my family, provides for all my employees' families. Like it matters that we make money. It's not, I don't want to be a starving artist. You know what I mean? So I think you have that same philosophy too, right? If I can make it simpler, it's not that it's bad, it's not that it's wrong, not like I'm breaking design elements or not being an amazing artist, but we're in it to make money. We need processes and procedures that are just repeatable and easy to always know this is how we do it. I mean, you operate that same way, right?
Oh, isn't that the whole KISS simple, right?
Yeah.
Keep it simple, silly.
Yeah. Silly. Keep it simple, stupid if you're not Ned Flanders.
Simple, silly. I mean, that's the easy way. And I almost never have a customer even ask. I mean, surely they have before. And I'll even say, I don't even know if you know this. So there's some really cool Bluetooth timers. They're kind of expensive. Blue Hopper made them. We do them for like a permanent light installs. But I installed them once, somewhere where there was no internet connectivity and a photocell didn't make sense. He really wanted control on his phone while sitting on his patio. So that Bluetooth timer, was pretty cool. He can control it and set a schedule, whenever he has a line of sight to it. So that was kind of an option as well.
Yeah. So you never had anyone really push about having zones that
it is rare. I mean, there's that one guy that wanted a Bluetooth timer for like his back property. He had a staircase going down to his vineyard and he didn't want that on all the time. which he probably does put it on all the time anyways. But like he specifically didn't think that he did. So put a Bluetooth timer on it so we can set it a schedule and he can just turn it on and off with his phone whenever he wanted.
That's cool.
We
Absolutely.
also put a light switch on it, which he probably never uses either. But
right.
oh, the problem with that, I told him, you're going to go down there and you're going to be golfing at your little putt-putt area and you're going to want to go down to the vineyard and you just don't have your phone on you. And then you got to go back up the stairs and get your phone and turn the lights on. It's like, we'll just put a light switch on. It's just always there. Always leave it on if you want, but it's there. So we do both.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. Make it easy for them. And a lot of it is people think, I know I have had people ask, right? Like, oh, I want to be able to, turn them off. And I just, I don't do it in a rude way, but I just remind them like, hey man, you're calling me. Like I think about lighting 7 days a week. Like I've done these projects time and time again. And we'll put a switch in for you and everything. I just want to let you know, like my goal is that you're never going to want to turn any of these lights off. Right. And they just, this is part of building that trust and that relationship with me where they understand it. Because it's not me trying to just get out of zoning or buying a different whatever. It's just, I know what this is going to look like. I know how you're going to use your property and you don't because you've been confined to one spot because you have a spotlight out, you got one of those, just normal utility lights. So you don't even understand yet how this is going to change where you're not going to want those lights off because it's going to be inviting. You're going to actually use that space. You're going to, even inside looking out, you're like, oh my God, my windows aren't mirrors anymore.
This is so true. Yeah. You can't wait till it gets nighttime to bring your backyard to life. It's going to look so badass. You are never going to want to turn it off.
Yeah. Oh, and another fun thing with the smart plug, we didn't go over this, and I've done it for Christmas. You can just turn them off from your home, which creates a service call. So when someone doesn't pay, just turn their lights off and it makes them call me. Wink, wink. It works, right? Like sometimes when people are just avoiding you, like, these guys are busy a lot of times. It's not even about like trying to stiff you, but all of a sudden they have their lights on and then boom, they're off. It always creates, I'm going to give these guys a call or shoot them a text to find out why my lights aren't on. I'm like, oh, hey, I will love to take care of that for you. I can send a guy out pretty quick. Here's the link to your invoice. Just take care of that. They pay it. Go back on the smart app. Boom.
That's hilarious. To get your final payment paid in a timely manner. I like that. Shoot. I've had some people drag their feet on that last payment. Probably because they're busy. I don't know. But yeah, that's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah, so it works. And you talk about like, clients downloading apps on their phone. And I forgot to mention, we were talking about the smart plugs. There's a big number of my clients who don't have the app on their phone. I just have it on mine. Like they have an account technically because I created them a home, but they don't even know. Like they'll just text me, "Hey man, can we, have the lights come on a little bit later or whatever?" And so many of them just love that. They don't want to think about it. So it's kind of the same theory behind you of using a dongle. Of like they don't want to think about it, and we just take over, and they don't even know how or why I'm controlling the lights. They just know, hey, if I text this guy, the lights come on. So cool.
Oh, that's pretty badass. All right. I like that.
Yeah. So what does everyone else think who's watching this, listening to this? What do you use right now? Are you a big zoning guy? And, I just want to be clear. I don't know everything, especially when it comes to this stuff. Like I'm always willing to learn something new that's better out there that exists. So if you've got a better way, if you're like, yo, this is how I do it. And it's so badass. And this is why. I'd love to hear from you. So let us know for sure. That being said,
maybe there's a big upsell feature. I'm not even mentioning that I could be.
Yeah, hell yeah. You want zone every 100 light on your property? Hell yeah. Let's do it. But anyways, Shane, you got anything else to add to this topic? I can't believe we've been going like 35 minutes talking about how to turn your lights on and off. Definitely longer than I thought we would talk about it. Do you have anything else to add before we kind of wrap up this episode?
No, not really. Let's get out there and go make some money. We got stuff to do. I would say, if you are looking for training, right? Matt's doing training in upstate New York here, in 3 weeks or so?
Yep.
It's pretty much for free. So if you're anywhere in that area, want to meet Matt, well, go and say hi. Go learn something. And then I'm doing one in Dallas, April 24th and 25th. It's on a Thursday and a Friday. It's right by the airport. Quick 2-day training,
Nice.
basically for free.
Yeah.
Come and say what's up.
Yeah, and then also we got one in San Marcos next month too. I think it's the week of the 14th. I don't know. It's on the website, maybe 16th. But anyways, it's 5-day advanced training in San Marcos. So we got the whole country covered in April, buddy. So that's fun.
Man, it's crazy. We've never done that before.
No, we don't know if we'll ever do it again.
Oh, we never will. Yeah, who knows?
Well, that's awesome. So yeah, so check out lightingtradeschool.com. You've got all those trainings on there that you want to sign up for. Now I know my personal one in April is 10 attendees. I think last time I checked, I'm at 5. I'm at over 10 with people that tell me they're coming, but it's only based on people who reserve their spot. So that will sell out, no doubt about it. Now, Shane, do you have the same thing? Do you have 10 max guys for you as well?
Yeah, I mean, I like to keep it small so I can actually interact and we can have questions and chill and go out to dinner. So 10 people is my max, and we have 4 right now, and we got 5 or 6 weeks or so to go.
Nice.
I guarantee it'll sell out. I honestly don't even mention it that much. I probably should.
Yeah, I mean, let's just talk about that real quick before we end then, right? Let's talk about the 2-day trainings. We've talked a lot about the 5-day trainings. Lots of guys have come to those with Nate over the years. I know what I'm doing for my training, but for you, give me a quick eagle eye overview. I'm thinking about coming to Dallas to get trained by Shane. What can I expect?
So first day, right, we're going to talk about design, basic kind of design, go over different best practices, go over our 7 deadly sins, go over questions you should know, how to build proposals, a little bit sales and marketing. And then that night, we're going to actually do a demo. We're going to put lights up. We're going to change stuff around. We're going to show you why this, not that. So we're going to spend some time on the demo. And then the following day, well, that's when we're going to go and actually do the install.
Awesome. Sweet. So that to get a pretty jam-packed 2 days. Is it like, I know for mine, I think I'm telling guys to plan from like 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. day 1, and then like 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. day 2. Is that similar for you or not?
Similar, yeah. So it's going to be 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then, break. We're going to eat, break bread. You can stick around and, mingle, or you can go, break at your hotel room. But we're going to come back from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., to do
okay.
And then the second day, right, the second day pretty much ends, at the end of the install. If you want to go back at night, take a look, take pictures, you're more than welcome to. We'll be there, but not required.
Right. Okay. Got it. Yeah. And just to be clear, I'm going to let them eat dinner. This is not California. Like, there's a dinner break in that. I'm just telling them 9 to 9 so that they don't, leave and go to the museum. Right. I mean, that's the one thing you can do here is go to we have a cool museum nearby. So awesome. Yeah. So Shane's training sounds, very similar, which is great because we both have the same style. So day 1 demo, or you will demo, but sales, design, meeting everybody, breaking bread. You probably have a lot of cool things that aren't planned. I know with trainings that happens. Demo that night, come back the next day, do an install, talk about install techniques. Same thing here, man. I'm excited. I'm pretty excited. This is the first one for me that I've ever hosted all by myself. It's the first one Lighting Trade School's ever done on the East Coast. I don't know if they even thought it could be done. So fingers crossed for good weather. I'll bring an umbrella. Have you ever done a solo training there, Shane, besides, Glow Geek guys?
No, not a 2-day training like this. So yeah, this is pretty much a first for me. Certainly we host calls with our Illuminati Lounge people, which is $11 a week. You do an hour call. Check that out in the Lighting Trade School. But no, I've done Christmas, of course, trainings, but yeah, never just a slow landscape light training.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I guess this will be a first.
It's a first. Yeah. We'll know. Will it be the last, or will it be the start of something big? Who the hell knows? None of us until we kind of do it and see. So
who the hell knows? Maybe we'll say, why are we doing this for free? And we'll we'll change our mind as to why we're even doing it. But as of right now, I don't know. We want to get the word out. We want to help. We want to teach folks the right way. And maybe you come in our inner circle.
Awesome. All right, guys. Thanks for sticking around and listening to this. Go make some money. Lightingtradeschool.com. See you guys next week.
Peace.